linearly polarized plane wave is incident at an angle of 30 degrees to the normal to an air dielectric interface. If the transmitted wave is linearly polarized, the relative dielectric constant is. Here, for the transmitted wave to be linearly polarized, the angle of incidence must be equals to sine of epsilon r2 divided by epsilon r1. So we know angle of incidence to the normal is 30 degrees. So sine 30 is equals to epsilon r2 under root. Epsilon r2 is 1 by 4, which is 0.25, that is option A is correct. Is incident on a conductor interface, the resulting magnetic field will be of the form and the maximum occurs at. See, we know that the fields exist only in the free space. Here, this is air conductor interface. The wave is incident on air conductor interface. In this case, Hi is equals to Hr because the reflection coefficient is 1 in case of air conductor interface. So Hi, forward transmitting wave, minus j beta x, reverse transmitting wave is a g beta x e power j beta x is equals to 2 Hi cos beta x. So the wave is in terms of x comma t is written as real part of 2 Hi cos beta x e power j omega t is nothing but 2 Hi cos beta x cos omega t. So the maximum occurs whenever beta x is equals to 0, pi plus or minus pi plus or minus 2 pi. So it is x equals to n pi by beta. Here n is nothing but 0, 1, 2, 3, 2. Hence from this explanation, option D is correct. Maximum value of frequency is 90 kHz and modulating frequency is 15 kHz. According to universal curve for estimating 1% bandwidth is 3.5 delta f. The practical bandwidth allocated to each transmitter is. So according to the universal curve, the total bandwidth is 3.5 into 90, which is 315 kHz. Whereas according to the Coulson's rule, the bandwidth is 2 into del f plus fm, which is 210 kHz. So we have to choose, means according to the, for practical transmitter, the bandwidth must be in between the 210 as well as 315. So we have to take 250 as the correct option because 315 310 is very closer to the 315, so it's not to be considered. Only 250 is the correct answer, which is exactly midway between 315 and 210. Hence option C is correct. Is passed through a filter. From the above figure, to maximize the peak to signal noise ratio, what will be the optimum value of bandwidth? See, for maximizing peak signal to noise ratio, h of t equals to s of minus t plus t. So if we similarly, this is also equals to 0 to t. This is h of t. So if we apply the Fourier transform to this one, we will get bandwidth as this is t by 2, this is minus t by 2. Hence b by 2, this is 1 by t, this is 1 by t. So b by 2 should be equal to 1 by t, that is b equals to 2 by t. Hence option C is correct. Waveguide of radius 1 cm is operating in its dominant mode. The frequency allowed by the waveguide is. The cutoff frequency Here Fc is nothing but 1.84 2 pi a under root mu epsilon. This is the cutoff frequency for TE11 mode, which is dominant mode in circular waveguide. So 1.843 into 10 power 10 divided by 2 pi into 1 centimeter, this one, which is equals to 8.79 gigahertz. So the frequency allowed by the circular waveguide must be greater than this frequency, then only it's going to allow. That is option D is correct, because which is greater than the cutoff frequency. Question is, an array of antennas has a power distribution towards main lobe and side lobes as shown in the figure. The ratio of main lobe power to the side lobe power is 0.5. After binomial tapering, what will be the ratio of main lobe power to the side lobe power is? Here there are 4 lobes are there, hence we have to take a binomial tapering as 1, 4, 4, and 1. Here there are 5 lobes including main lobe. There are 4 side lobes, 1 main lobe. So the binomial tapering must be this one. So main lobe power is P by 2 into 6, that is 3P after tapering, P by 8 plus 4 into P by 8 plus 4 into P by 8 plus 1 into P by 8, which is equals to 4 2 ja 4 2 ja. So it is P by 4 plus P, which is 5P by 4. So the ratio becomes 3P 5P into 4, that is 12 by 5, which is 2.4. Hence option A is correct. The circuit, if the value of R3 is equals to infinite, then the V0 is. If R3 is infinite, means this combination is not going to exist. Simply it is an inverting amplifier whose gain is minus R2 by R1. So the output is 180 degrees phase shifted compared to the input, and the gain is R2 by R1. So option D is correct. Here in this case, this diode must be connected in this way, okay, but it doesn't affect the answer at all, because if R3 is infinite, means the diode circuit is not going to be there. But comes to whenever R3 is equals to 0, it's going to have a crucial role now. See, just look at it. Here, whenever R3 is equals to 0, means Vi is greater than 0, means if Vi is positive, V0 is negative. If V0 is negative, one of the diodes, surely they are going to conduct. So the voltage in the feedback means across the diode is nothing but output voltage. So it is clipped off to 0.7. If Vi multiply with gain is greater than the 0.7. And if Vi is less than 0, V0 is going to be positive. Still one of the both diodes are going to conduct, so it's clipped up to 0.7 volts again. So hence option A is correct.